Hey, it's Shay, and today we're doing book reviews. Actually, we're doing micro book reviews because I was scrolling through Tumblr, as you do, and I saw a book review tag, and it actually used books that you have not read yet, and I thought, I have a lot of books that I haven't read yet because I don't read as much as I used to, and my past bookworm self is crying in a corner somewhere. Shout out to Gingerly Writing, by the way, on Tumblr. I don't think they came up with this, but that's where I saw it from. Alright, so only have a limited option to choose from because most of my books are at my mom's house, but I have quite a few here. So I have 5 books that I just chose that either I only read a tiny little bit and I stopped, or I haven't read at all. So let's just get started, shall we? So the first book is actually a really strange option, I think, and it's this one. If life were easy, it wouldn't be so hard. And Other Reassuring Truths by Sherry Dew. And I don't know where this book came from. I assume that it was just put in with other books in a box when I moved out of my mom's house. And I assume it's probably hers, but I'm not entirely sure. I have a few books that are definitely not mine and I have never read, and I have no idea where they came from or what they're about. And this is just the first one that I grabbed, and I thought it would be interesting to do a book review on it, especially since it's book reviews on books that I haven't read, and so it's pretty fitting. That's how I came by it. Quote the first sentence. A few months ago, I had an assignment that required me to make a quick, long weekend type trip to Nauvoo, and it seemed like the perfect opportunity to take a nephew and 2 nieces with me. Okay, so it seems like it's not a fictional story. It seems like a real life story, maybe like a self-help type thing. It seems really religious, father and his son. There's some like religious verses in here. A lot of religious verses in here. So it's not exactly my thing, but if it's your thing, that's okay. I am never going to read this book ever. I should probably get it back to my mom. Maybe she wants to read it. It has a nice, cover. It has nice little purple bookmark ribbon, if you can see that. That's nice. That might be my mom's spot or something. I don't know. I don't want to take it out. But, oh, I'm never going to read this book. But it's a book. So that's kind of like a review. Okay, moving on to the next one. This book is way different, and I'm definitely going to read it. And it's called Young at Heart, and it's Toronto Comics, and it's a comic anthology of Canadian Toronto artists, and it's really cool, and I bought it recently at the Toronto Comic Convention, and I know someone personally who, stop talking like that. I know someone personally who worked on this book. He was an editor, and that's really cool too, so, duh, I had to buy it. The first sentence, it might be a little difficult because, it's a comic, but customers on line 1, Young University. We are currently experiencing signal problems at Davisville Station. And I don't know if you can. That's what it looks like. And it has a bunch of different artists. It does a bunch of different art styles, and it's very cute. It's all about putting, classical, mythical myths and monsters and putting them in the modern Toronto city. And I think it's really cool to support local artists, to see local artists succeed and to support their work. And I think it's just really cool to see something like this and to read the familiarity that is sometimes lacking in stories. There's not a lot of stories that I have read that are set in where I'm from. I'm adding myself as a Canadian. But yeah, that's where I'm from. And it's really interesting to read stories and to read about places that I've been to, places that I know, and that's really rare for me. So I'm really into this book. This book I will definitely read. It seems really cool. I just haven't gotten around to it yet because I've been really busy and I just got it recently, so it hasn't been sitting around for that long. But I don't know how easy it would be for you to access it if you're not in Canada or in this area. But if you can, I would 100% recommend getting it and checking it out and supporting some really cool people. The next book is by one of my favorite authors, Game Board of the Gods by Rochelle Mead. And I picked this up because I really like her books. I read her Vampire Academy series and her Bloodline series, and I really liked it. And I think that I bought this when I was finished reading those series and they were over, and I was looking for something to fill the void of my life now that these books were over. And I saw this, and I saw who it was by, and I thought, this seems cool. I bet I like it, and I bought it, and then life is like crazy busy. If any of my university friends know, I'm sure they can relate. And I haven't gotten around to it. I hope I can read it soon. I'm on page 12, the beginning of chapter 2, so hopefully I can read it. It's probably not going to happen anytime soon because I just keep getting busy. Let me know if any of you have read this book or like Rochelle Mead and read any of her Vampire Academy novels or Bloodline novels. The next book, I'm sure a lot of you have heard of, at least, or are probably more familiar than the books that I've shown so far. The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo by Stieg Larsson. I'm not entirely sure if I said that name right. This is probably the oldest one of the books that I have here. I bought this around when the movie first came out, and this was very hyped up, and everyone was saying it was so good, and everyone liked it, and everyone was reading it. I picked it up because I was looking for a book to read, and I figured I would probably like it because everyone else has. And it's really, really big. It's so long. And I didn't get around to reading it because I got so busy. I'm on page 23. Oh, let's read the first sentence, shall we? It happened every year, was almost a ritual. Okay, well that's vague for you guys. If you want to find out what that's about, you'll have to read this book. Because I'm probably not going to read it anytime soon because it is huge. But I'm sure it's a great book. And all of you guys who love it and have read it can tell me all about it in the comments. The final book that I'm going to do a micro review on is called The Crusade by, I'm definitely going to say these names wrong, Nancy Holder and Debbie Vigui. I don't know. I'm very sorry. New York Times bestselling authors of the Wicked series. So people might be a little bit more familiar with this book too. I'm not really sure. I just bought it because it looked cool. I had never heard of it before, but it was about vampires. It had an interesting cover. I read the description and it seemed interesting. I read quite a bit of this series and I stopped because I didn't really like it that much. I didn't really like the main character. I thought she was honestly kind of boring, and she was really insecure, and a lot of people would say that's good. That's like a realistic character, but I'm not always all about the realism. Like, I don't want to read a book and read all about myself. You know what I mean? Like, I have enough insecurity in my own life. Um, Stuff like that is good to make a character more relatable. I think that's good, but when it goes throughout the whole entire book, and I was kind of iffy about how the world responded to the vampires, because like it's about the vampires kind of like taking over the world in a way, and like these are the rebels, and I thought like there's no way the American government or whatever would like let vampires be in charge, because they're like, think about all the religious people and all the people who would be anti-vampires, like they would never, I mean, that's my opinion, but it would never fly, and I thought that was kind of unrealistic. um if you like this though, I obviously didn't give her that much of a chance. She could have grown a lot as a character by the end of the novel, and I just didn't make it that far. Go ahead and try to convince me as to why I should give this one another chance. I'm totally open to it. In fact, that's the last book I'm going to review. So let me know if you've read any of these, if I've made you want to read any of these, and what you thought of them, and try to convince me to read them, and I just might. Maybe one day I'll finish reading one of these, especially this one. I'll probably finish reading this one and maybe do a real book review. But until now, that's all I got. So let me know your thoughts down in the comments, and I'll see you next time. Bye!